What if I told you that you might have been communicating your design portfolio completely wrong?
No! God, please, no! No!
I'm going to show you how you can shift your focus and greatly improve your portfolio with specific examples throughout this entire video. Things that you can use right now and within minutes improve your chances of actually being interesting to employers. Here's the first example. This is a button that leads to a purchase. It's a very important button for every business, yet nobody's clicking this one. Ask yourself why. For starters, it's barely visible, low contrast, small, and doesn't look inviting to click. Let's fix that quickly. Boom. Better. The label on the button is still vague and most people don't know what happens next. Let's fix that too. Boom. Now the button will work a lot better. This is all obvious. What's important here is how you present this information so it's relevant to the people that are going to hire you. But before I show you how the magic happens, let's add some context to it. Most designers write about how they use research and design to make the product easier to use for the user.
Nobody cares.
They often mention things like making lives of the users easier or better, stuff like that. But let me ask you a question. Are the users the ones that are gonna be looking at your portfolio? No. Companies will be looking at your portfolio, and companies don't really care about the users more than they really have to. And you're probably asking yourself right now, wait, what? Companies don't care about the users? Isn't that what all the user experience is all about? No, not really. What they really care about is... Yes. And that is the only reason that companies are considering making the users happier while using the product. But you're not hired to make the user happier. That's a means to an end. You're hired to make more money for the business. So instead of focusing on talking about the users in your portfolio, talk about how you can increase conversion and how you can raise the amount of money that the company can make on these users. I'm gonna use this example to show you step by step how you can outline what doesn't convert here. Mentioning the back arrow being an extra step, always talk about how it can cause drop-off and decrease conversion. It's not 2015 anymore, we don't need to repeat the password. One field is more than enough, and there is also no instruction or no information about what the password should look like, so many people will enter something just to get an error message that they're missing a number or a capital letter. Distances between the previous field, the label, and the field the label belongs to are the same, which makes it a lot harder to understand what belongs where and makes it a lot longer to grasp. And once again, talking about how the button is small and barely visible, always mention that that doesn't encourage conversion, because that's the key word here. Here's how to fix it. For starters, we remove the back arrow and add a clear link with an instruction of what to do when you already have an account. You remove the unnecessary password field, but it's also important to mention that there's a bigger chance people are gonna fill the form now that it has less steps for them. With increased distance from the previous field, it's now completely clear which field does the label belong to. That means that people will need less time to process the form and understand it, and that means more people will fill it till the end. We added clear instructions of what characters the password should have and how strong it is, so you know before you click submit. The button is now big and very visible, but we also added an arrow to emphasize the direction or where you're gonna go after you click, but this is something that you can mention that's possible to A/B test later and pick an option with the best conversion. A cherry on top could be adding the word free to create free accounts so more people are inclined to do so because they know there won't be any hidden costs. And when you're annotating your design for people who are gonna hire you, always highlight things that matter to them. These are the metrics that companies really care about. Even if you're making a fake app for your portfolio, don't focus too much on the users. Focus on how you can help the business. And yes, gaining more users and keeping them engaged for longer within the product are all good metrics, but don't talk about it from the user's perspective. Talk about it from the business perspective, how they will benefit. So in short, focus how the decisions that you made in your design process, in your case study, will benefit the business financially. And sure, in a perfect world, you'll be mostly focusing on how to make the lives of the users better, but this world is far from perfect. In a perfect world, companies, including some of the big ones, wouldn't really be using dark pattern and deceptive tactics to trick their users to pay more or prevent them from unsubscribing, or using tactics like confirm shaming for profit. So when working on your portfolio itself, on your about section, and on your case studies, think about who's going to be reading that. It's going to be the people who are looking for a designer to help them make more money. Think about what they may want, because it can differ with every category. Research the category beforehand and figure out the best way to approach it in a way that they will feel compelled to hire you. And your case study and your ideas don't really have to work. They don't need to be an awesome, amazing, foolproof plan. What they need to do is to show that you understand what the business is all about and why they even need to hire you. I'm gonna repeat this again. Every business is about making more money. Are you ready to make that switch? Let me know in the comments. Did you know that my subscribers are 50% more likely to get their first junior design job? Hit that subscribe button and wait up for a useful checklist that's coming at the end of this video. And obviously, have a beautiful day.